Hi folks, I'm Ganesh here. Before starting up the content, let me brief my introduction about my corporate experience and about technical experience. Okay. Yeah. I have 9.5 years of corporate experience in the technologies of business objects and BODS and SAP BW. Wherein, apart from this, I have teaching experience as a 6.4 years of teaching experience. And apart from this, I have worked with so many pioneer customers like Google and SAP. In my career, the predominantly I have worked so far with the domains of telecom sector as well as banking and financial sectors. Okay, so now coming to the discussion, coming to the demonstration of a business objects. Today, we are going to discuss about what are all the salient features which business objects is having and how it is going to be value added to your careers and how it is functionality, how it is functioning. So let's discuss all those things. Technical aspects I will be discussing in a later aspects, but let's focus only on the overview of business objects so that you can have a basic idea about it. So that what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you a bird's eye view on top of this business objects. Okay. Now, so SAP business objects, right? We also call it as SAP BOBA. What is this BOBA to say? So we knew that business objects is a strong reporting tool, strong analytical tool. What is meant by report first? Report nothing but a report is having a data which is very accurate, which is helpful for the analysis of your organizational data. So that it's going to be playing a critical role from the organizational point of view whenever you are going to take a decision, right? Because report consists accurate information so that you can evaluate your day-to-day business activities. So that's the reason a report is the strongest, is playing a strongest, it is playing a greater role during the time of decision making system in any business, right? Now, since business objects is a reporting tool, we are going to discuss few aspects in terms of various reporting applications, right? So, in business objects, we have different reporting applications. For example, Excel is also one of the reporting tool. PDF, it is also useful to demonstrate reports. So over here there is a difference between Excel and PDF. Yes, but both are useful for the reporting purpose. I mean to say analysis purpose. Similarly, business objects is also having various reporting formats. I mean to say applications which can be helpful to analyze your business, like web intelligence report, dashboards, or previously it is being called as Excel sheets, or you can call it as Excel sheets. Either ways, Excel sheets, crystal reports, right? We have quas, widgets, desktop, intelligent reports, etc. So these are all the different reporting applications. Similarly, you have, you know, Polestar. So these are all the different reporting formats, reporting flavors which business objects is holding, right? So now you can ask me a question. Why a business objects is providing these many various flavors of reports? Yes, absolutely. There is a specific reason for every, for every reporting application available over here. So business objects is providing specific solutions to the industries. For example, dashboards. Dashboards are providing the data with a better visualizations of your analysis of your organizations, wherein you can distribute the dashboards, okay, into your iPhones, etc., etc. Those activities can be done. Similarly, web intelligent report. Web intelligent report and desktop intelligent reports are being called as ad hoc reports. Ad hoc report in a sense, as per the need basis, customers, being as an end user, they themselves can able to generate the reports instantaneously as per the need basis. So those are all called as ad hoc report. Similarly, crystal report. Crystal report is called as canal report. So this is called as ad hoc, and crystal report is called as canal report. Canal report in the sense, customers, end users, they themselves can only view the report. They cannot modify. So which means crystal reports is going to be absolutely developed by the developers, which is being used by the end users. Similarly, query nothing but query as a web service. Query nothing but report here. So that's what I'm going to do. A report would be distributing via web service mode, which means I am going to distribute the report with URL. I'm not going to distribute the whole report as a URL. Right. So that is what quas. So widget in the sense, right? Iconics. Frequently used reports. You can keep it as widgets on your laptop, on your desktop. So these are all. So Polestar is also one of the strongest and emerging reporting application within the business objects. So each and every reporting application is having their own advantage. Coming to the technical perspectives as well. Right. So let me tell you how these reports is going to be developed. With what kind of a backend applications is going to be available, right? Now, for example, let's say I have a report. I have here, I have quarter, state, I have city, and I have revenue. For example, let's say, so this is about 2010. Now, so let's remove a quarter. Okay. So let's say USA. Let's pick it up as a USA. Now, city, for example, SF. So let's make it as not a city, country. Okay, city, and revenue, something, some $1 million, let's say. Okay, so now I have a report. Let's say now I have a report. Let me discuss about from business objects point of view. So let's say that this is a business objects report. how this report has been generated, right? Of course, over here I have entered the data manually, but in a realistic scenarios, are we going to enter the data manually? Definitely not. So, how you are going to be develop a business objects reports is the point. Now, business objects, any report, okay, any one of these, right? These are all front-end applications. I mean to say, end user is going to interact with your reports. They doesn't care about the back-end application. What they need accurate information in the format of a report with a better visualizations or with the required format, either ways in a chart or pie chart, either bubble chart or whatever. That is what their need basis. Now, how these reports are going to be generated? So, we knew that business objects is a front-end application. I mean to say reports are front-end applications. Then what about the back-end applications? Yes, here we go. Now, for the business objects, right? So there are different back-end applications, right? Now, so for the business objects, RDBMS, databases, like RDBMS databases in the sense, like Oracle, like Oracle, Teradata, SQL Server, DB2, Netezza, HP, NeoView. These are all the different databases with, I mean to say, with RDBMS as the backend applications. So, for your business objects, RDBMS is one of the backend application. Similarly, for the business objects, SAP BW, BI, SAP BW BI is also one of the backend application. Right. So, yes, we should have a, I mean to say, we should have a thorough full knowledge with these backend applications as well. Now, similarly, HANA is also one of the backend application. SAP HANA, which is a high performance analytical appliance, which is HANA behaves as a booster, which is the strongest booster, which is help to speed up the data so that even a millions of records of our data also can be visible within a microseconds into a report. Similarly, business objects is also having the backend applications like flat files. Flat files nothing but Excel, CSV, Excel, CSV, TXT. These are all different backend applications which business objects is most of the times is having, okay, in a realistic approaches. But most of the times RDBMS database, BWBA, HANA. These are all the very repetitively, most of the organizations are using these applications as the backend. So definitely, without having a backend application, we cannot maintain a front-end application, because with these backend applications, we are trying to maintain a day-to-day data loading as well as a few other elements of a data maintenance level activities is happening at the backend level. Now, we knew that without having these backend applications, we can't generate a report. But where we do have lots of job opportunities in the market. Yes, at the front end, we do have lots of job opportunities in the market. The reason is, from the organization perspectives, we'll have different levels of management hierarchies, like top level management, middle level management, and low level management. For respective business, so from the respective line of business, like sales, finance, marketing, HR, orders, general ledger. So all these aspects. So they need a different types of reports, such as master reports, detailed reports in the form of charts, graphs, etc., etc. So that is the reason. If the number of reports are keep on going, they need a manpower like you, which is nothing but business objects, resources they require. So that is the reason. Always, front-end applications will have lots of job opportunities compared with the back-end applications. But the guys who is having a knowledge on the back-end applications as well as the front-end applications, they can able to see the whole life cycle of ETL as well as reporting, so that they can have a longer tenuity of the project, so that they can able to deal with the backend as well as the front end. So you will have a longer tenuity to stay in the project. So that is the major advantage. And always for any person who is working with the front end, they should have at least a minimum knowledge on the backend applications. Okay. Now over here, the guys who is not on coming to our sessions, in order to develop these reports in a business objects point of view, we are having some middle layer concepts. We are having some middle layer, nothing but schematic representations. That is what called as IDT, nothing but information designer tool. Similarly, we have a concept called UDT, universe design tool. So these are all the various middle layers that we are going to discuss. That once we start up the classroom session, I can brief you what is IDT and what is UDT, what is their importances, everything. What is what type of connection it requires, everything I'm gonna brief. But I'm just throwing a idea, so that you will have a clear picture right away that what we will be learning. Likewise, now so with these IDTs, we can able to develop various formats of report, like maybe crystal, So whenever we have RDBMS database, I'm going to maintain, Now coming to our, in the upcoming sessions, we will be discussing RDBMS with BO, BW with BO, HANA with BO, which means you will be learning different reporting applications, how can be generated with the various backend applications. These are all you will be learning in the upcoming sessions in a detailed way. Okay. Now the guys who is not having a exposure towards SQL queries, I'll make you comfortable with the SQL queries as well. And moreover, we are going to deal with the 95% of the realistic databases. I'm not going to brief you with the default databases like employee table and department table. No. I'm not going to project all those things, which we will be discussing a realistic data, 95% of a realistic data, so that it would be helpful for you to understand the realistic situations once you placed in a project. So that's what the agenda we have in the upcoming sessions. Now, in our sessions, what type of content we are going to discuss? Right. Now, we are going to discuss first the fundamental aspects, fundamentals. What is meant by warehouse, all those things. Or what is meant by schema, what is meant by fact table, and what is meant by dimension table. So that content will be discussing as a topic of fundamentals. Next, we are going to discuss about prerequisites. Prerequisites in sense, in order to develop a report, in order to develop these different types of reports, what are all the prerequisites it requires? Like, what are the cautious steps that we need to follow when we have RDBMS database as a backend application? Similarly, what is BWBA? I mean, what sort of backend prerequisites we need to follow when we have BW as a backend applications. So all those prerequisites are going to be discussed. Next, we are going to discuss a concept called universe. That is what I told you, right? Over here, we are having a concept of, as I told you, we are having a concept of IDT and UDT. Okay, so UDT is carrying from the old versions, but IDT is the latest version which they have introduced in the latest version. Now I am going to tell you majorly succeeded versions of the business objects. I am not going to brief you all the versions of the business objects. I am going to brief you majorly succeeded versions of the business objects. So BO5X, BO6X, BO 6.5, BOXI, BOXI R2, BOXI R3, BOBI 4.0, BOBI 4.1. These are all the majorly succeeded versions of the business objects. Right. Now, let me tell you. IDT, yeah. See, till at the version of BOXI R2, SAP has acquired business objects. So till that time, business objects was a unique tool, which is an isolated tool. It was not having any collaboration with SAP. But in the area of 2008, SAP has acquired business objects. So later on, it's being called as SAP BO. Okay. Now, in our upcoming sessions, we are going to discuss about, predominantly we are going to discuss about BO 4.1 and BOBI 4.0. So these two are the versions which we will be predominantly focusing on. So IDT is the concept which has been introduced from BOBI 4.0 onwards. You know, in the upcoming versions, they are going to roll out the UDT. They won't maintain a UDT at all because that is being carried from the past older versions. So in order to provide a sophisticated solutions to the customers, they are going to rule out the UDT. So instead of that, they will be uniquely maintaining the IDT. But in our upcoming sessions, we will be discussing both IDT as well as UDT also. Okay. Now, so once we're done with the universes, we will be learning web intelligence, and then later on dashboards or Excel sheets, you can call it as. Nowadays, it is not being called as Excel sheets. It's being called as only dashboards. Okay, and then we'll be discussing about crystal reports. Parallelly, whenever we are going to discuss about these reporting stuff, So whenever we are going to discuss about these three reporting elements, I am going to brief you a concept called BI Launchpad. Nothing much. So BI Launchpad is a user front-end application. So this is also being called as interactive analysis also. So it's having different naming conventions, but we will be focusing on BI Launchpad as well. I mean, BI Launchpad is an user front-end applications where end users can able to interact with the all type of reports from this application. Okay, so that we'll be discussing later. Okay, so once we're done with the majority of these, we'll be focusing on the rest of these aspects. Okay, so but if you go to any industry, these three are the reports which are playing a dominant role. So these three reports will be playing a dominant role. So that is the reason. So if you are thoroughful with these three reporting applications, the rest could be very easy. It's not a big deal at all. You can understand in an easy way. So that's not a big deal. Right. So once we're done with all these aspects, we are going to discuss about testing activities. So far whatever we have gone through, right, these are all related to purely development activities. These are all related to purely development. So now once we're done with this content, we are going to discuss about testing activities also, which means how we can perform the testing. See, development of a universe and development of a report is also not only your responsibility. Development of reports, and you have to make sure that the data available in these reports are 100% accurate. That is your responsibility. So that is the reason. You should know how to test the reports also. Okay. So yes, we are going to discuss about the testing activities as well. Okay. Now, once we're done with the testing activities, I'll make you comfortable with the deployment activities also. Deployment activities in the sense, how we can transport the content from dev to QA. Similarly, QA to UAT. UAT nothing but user acceptance test. Okay. Similarly, UAT to production. How can be transported? See, development environment is different, testing environment is different, UAT is different, production is different. So how are we gonna deal with this? So is the point. So you should have a clear picture, right? You should have a clear picture in terms of the development of in terms of deployment activities of the reports also, right? We should have a clear picture. So that is also you will be learning in the upcoming sessions. So how we can transport the content from one environment to another environment. Okay. So not only a deployment activity, give me a second. The current battery. Give me a second.